This is Gene Krebs.
Hi there. Oh.
And we're high on Ohio.
Bill Kitson of the United Way of Greater Cleveland once said to me that to deal with social issues, first we must sell our helicopters. By that he implied we tend to helicopter into a low-income neighborhood, get out dressed much as I am today, and say things like, poor people, be more like me, stop being poor, just look how I'm dressed, and then get back into our helicopters and go home to our nice suburbs or a nice farm in my case. About a year ago, I interviewed Phil Duvall, author of the Bridges Out of Poverty series. His work is the epitome, the anti-helicopter approach to solving poverty. It is personal, holistic, community, and very organic. That interview stuck with me, and on my own time, and not during my work hours here at the Center for Community Solutions, I began to talk up this interview to people. One of the people I mentioned it to was Representative Tim Derrickson, who in the last General Assembly was responsible for workforce development issues in the Ohio House of Representatives. It changed his viewpoint on how to approach workforce and poverty and led ultimately to the creation of a committee, the likes of which I've never seen before, the Committee on Community and Family Advancement.
The purpose of the committee is to bridge the gap between good-paying, sustainable jobs and barriers that keep people from qualifying for them. And these barriers are really the subject. There's just countless barriers. It is public transportation, it's a criminal record, it's lack of education, it's child care. Again, the list goes far beyond that. But what we've recognized is we need to meet people where they're at, not expect them necessarily to come to where we are. And where we are is get some education, and here's a job.
The Speaker, the House Speaker Rosenberger, along with the Chairman Derrickson, really had the foresight to put this committee together, which is tasked with breaking down the barriers for families that are in poverty. That's not something that seems sexy, you know, when you look at it.
I have repeated the mission of this committee so many times. I will repeat that, which is bridging the gap between sustainable, good-paying jobs and the barriers that keep people from obtaining them. To dress and present oneself in a way that's favorable in an interview, the lack of being connected to local resources in the community where people live.
How do you define success for your committee?
To continue the conversation about folks in poverty and helping them help themselves up and out of poverty. And I don't expect the conversation to be what it used to be. What it used to be is get a certification, get a degree, get a job done. That's what the conversation used to be. But I believe we're in a different era. Guidestone has done taken a very similar approach to a whole person, helping the whole person, not just a given problem or a given barrier in their life.
Bridges Out of Poverty is a huge part of it's the philosophy through which we employ or evolve our workforce programming.
Many of our clients come to us without having experience in the work world. They have traditionally been unsuccessful in a school setting, and so whether they have graduated from school and they still do not have the basic math and reading skills to get a job, even to get through the interviewing process, we provide GED services and academic training. We provide the soft skills necessary for them to prepare for and enter the work world.
Cincinnati Works in Cincinnati has done a wonderful job at rallying around individuals that have major problems, so whether they've been incarcerated, whether they've had a drug addiction. Again, the barriers are countless.
In terms of how we define success, in the end, it's stably self-sufficient. Ultimately, we're trying to get people from poverty to self-sufficiency through employment. So it is that focus on, we need to be able to, everything we do needs to ultimately help people secure the job retain the job, and advance. Removing the barriers that are holding people back, whether that be transportation, childcare, academics, legal issues, emotional or mental health issues. When someone is a member of Cincinnati Works, they are a member for life, and we will continue to support them in their journey as long as they are working or looking for work.
What we're seeing here in Butler County is people are actually moving out of poverty and moving out of poverty permanently because of this program. It's very transformational. It's a tremendous asset to helping people get off government assistance and stay off government assistance.
I think that book and Mr. Duvall as the author has really identified a way to help people who want to help themselves, but he has identified a way to do it that brings everybody to the table, including government. And his approach is a long-term approach. It's sort of be patient, but stick with it, kind of an attitude.
It's all in how you view people in poverty. And if you think of them as needy and deficient and diseased and someone who can't be trusted, you're going to get lousy results. And if you understand that people in poverty are problem solvers and that they could be co-creators of good things, that they would be a willing and an excited person to become a full employee with all the ramifications of that, all the extra things that go with it, like your opinion counts when you come to work. You're important to us. Those kind of things, where is it written, that we have to treat people as if they're just widgets?
The state needs to provide adequate funding for the kind of work that we do.
We have great results that I think the state sees as valuable to the extent that they could help us take our program to bigger scale and make a bigger impact through some financial support. That would be one way. The other thing is that in order to grow our programs, we also need jobs on the other end. So the job creation piece needs to come hand in hand. I think we could do more with more resources.
Go out and see these programs in action, not just the programs in action, but talk to some of the people who have gone through the program and have changed their lives, because there are many.
I grew up in generational poverty and all that entails, and made very poor choices. I was a drug addict. I was a single mother on cash assistance, food stamps. I lived in Section 8. Felt very, very hopeless on my future. My family had a lot of turmoil, criminal type activities, behaviors, and I was introduced to the Getting Ahead program. And they said it was gonna change my life. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, they offered the incentives, and that's really what brought me in. But here's the deal. Come the third week of this class, I started having my aha moments. Once you start having these aha moments, I realized that it didn't matter where I started and how far down the ladder I was. If I wanted to make my life better, I was going to be the only one that could change that.
Life happens. We have to be willing and able to give them the hope that they're going to be okay, even when it doesn't look like it's going to be okay. And then we got to help them. Connect them with someone that can care for them, that can love them when they can't do it for themselves.
I was just so glad in that committee meeting the other day to hear people around the committee saying, we don't want just feel-good stuff. I heard 2 or 3 people say that. They want to know that people are doing well, and we all want to hear about the exciting success stories, and there are lots of them. But we have to be able to translate this into a structure, that we can apply so that this structure will achieve these things from the local communities.
These programs require long-term commitments, and this committee is the start of something larger, a healthier discussion on what makes for a better welfare and social policy. And finally, does anyone want to buy a used helicopter? Thank you for watching. Contact Representative Derrickson to find out more about his committee, 614-644-5094. And to find out more about the Center for Community Solutions, please go to our website at www.communitysolutions.com.
For more about the Center for Community Solutions or their publications, please visit www.communitysolutions.com.